Well, this is a game that I've had on my desktop for a while. Railroad Tycoon II. The sequel to Super Mario's Railroad Tycoon 1. Let's show it off, shall we? And there was the intro to Railroad Tycoon II. So, I'll note that this is a game that, well, I have both mixed feelings about it. I basically liked it for what it was back in the day, but it's also one of those games that's kind of hard to come back to replay for a couple reasons. I'll note that this is a game that is very different, I guess, from the original game in that where the original game was sort of a mix of random generation of existing maps. This one has static scenarios. Basically, you play and you try and win. It does feature a campaign you can play if you want to. So you go new campaign and then see what the campaign's all about. But it's one of those things where playing this game, it doesn't really feel like the original Tycoon, Railroad Tycoon, which basically started the whole Tycoon craze and all that. I will jump into class campaign for one reason, is so you can see something, by the way, too. So, bear with me.
Well, hello there. You're noticing the gents on the board. Well, go ahead, have a look. Iron men is what they call them. Some of them upright businessmen. Some as low down as a snake's belly. But all of them were legends. Many a daydream I found myself wondering what it would be like to reign high on the rails of steel. You too, huh? Oh, why don't you give it a try? Take a gander at the first challenge, the Iron Seed. You might want to make some different choices from how the Iron Men got started. Choose an option from the bottom group, then get started. By the looks of you, this should be pretty entertaining. I think I'll stick around. Well, go on, get to it.
So there's the old man narrator, I guess we'll basically call him. That's basically something I know about this game. It does have its own little bit of charm. Railroad Tycoon is basically when Super Mario basically made it was just
Hello? You awake? Go ahead and select a map to get started.
Okay, well basically enough of that. I will note something else in here, by the way. If you hit a window with this guy.
Hey there, keep away from them windows.
Yeah, he doesn't like you hitting the windows. But anyhow, enough of this, let's jump out for a moment. Basically, that's something about this game. It has its only a little bit of charm. The original Super Mario's Railroad Tycoon, it was basically sort of a civilization type of game in some ways. It basically had a lot of neat mechanics and management issues that you can basically do, but it didn't have any real history or charm really to it. This one basically tries to delve into the history of railroading. And it features a lot of the things that railroad baron would deal with. You have to deal with the stock markets, and you know what? Let's just jump into a scenario. I'm actually going to jump into the tutorial scenario right here because it's probably one of the best ones to basically show off what the game's all about. So we'll do that. And we'll go in here. We'll chop down the game speed to 0. I don't know if I could change the game speed over here if I want to, but whatever. So basically, this is like, you know, England and Ireland over here. I'll note that there's like several maps you can basically play in this game, including but not limited to like England, but also there's also maps for like I think India, Japan, and China. There might be one for Canada. I don't know if it's like in this specific one or Railroad Tycoon 3, but I know there's like a map where like they have like you do like the transnational railway for Canada. Lots of maps are featuring for the United States and various regions of it, and you know, and sometimes the entire thing of it. And I'll note that there is like a lot of scenarios you can basically play, and they like all have like different objectives that you can basically try and meet. If I go to here and hit the briefing, basically like Britain is the birthplace of the Iron Horse. We're making things a bit easier for you by starting things off in 1870, about 4 years after the real start of the railroad. You'll have good trains available and only one competitor. And basically, it gets you like, you know, a way to win this like, you know, thing is basically to basically have a personal network of 1 million by the time you basically complete the, you know, the scenario by like 1900. So 30 years basically play. And that's another thing I like to know about this game. Basically, like the original Super Mario Railroad Tycoon 2, you basically play to like modern times for like, you know, your starting date, so you can play like 100 years or so if you want to. This one though, it's like, you know, you play for like, you know, a very small fixed window usually, and then it's done. Now, anyhow, the same thing about this game is that basically you've got like, you know, someone who you're basically like playing with. So in this case, we're going to be playing with Isambard Kingdom Brunel, and we're going to be playing against George Hudson here apparently. We have like stocks and stuff like that, and money and you know, all that. And basically, like, you know, we're actually going to like do like the actual investing as opposed to where in like the original one it's like, you know, the company sort of did it for you. And this one you're not like, you know, your own company. You're like, you know, how can I put this? You're actually like, you know, trying to play as like, you know, the investor, like manager of a company. And you can actually be like, you know, bought out of like this game and like have to start new companies or stuff like that can happen. Anyhow, let's start a new company. In starting a new company, you can decide how much money you want to put in. So if I invest like 120,000 of my money into this, the investors basically, you know, invest like so much if they want to. We're gonna basically get them to invest at least this much here. If I like go like this way, I can like maybe invest more if I want to. Something I know about outside investment is that the more like money you put in, the more like money the outside investment will put in. But it also means like they'll have like their stock shares. So if I want to like, you know, just make like a railroad all by myself, with like, you know, no one like other investors, basically I could do that. And like, you know, I basically like if I have like 150,000 like a let's put it this way a little bit easier. If I have like, you know, 150,000 and like the other guys, they have like 600,000, that means that there's a total of like 750,000 like, you know, dollars invested at the start for like this company. And basically I own like 1/5 of like all the shares. So 20% of the shares right from the start if I do like this. If like, you know, I go like this, go like 1,500,000 and like, you know, my money's up there. Basically I've only got like, you know, less than 10% of like the company's like stock. And like, you know, there's like buying out stocks in this game if you want to, there's mergers and stuff. Actually, let's get this going on the way. We'll, you know, pick a logo, diamond here. At some point, my comparable, you know, invest a little bit, but for now, whatever. Basically, here's where we are right now. I own like 2,000 shares of CSX in my new company. Share value is currently this much. There's the price of it. Nobody, this guy's got the same amount of money as me, so he'll probably be able to do some stuff as well when he gets around to it. Alright, so they actually recommend for us, like, you know, this like one right here that like you build between like I think like Oxford and like Nottingham or something like that. I might do that. Basically, like Nottingham has like a lot of milk around it, so you can make lots of money with it. You can like go through Leicester here if you want to. I think what we're gonna do though, I usually like to build like, you know, from like, you know, Slough down here over to like London. Basically, if I do this, I got like Cal, I can go like to like this meat processing plant right over here. It's basically grain as well, but you know, whatever, grain is grain. Much like the original game, you basically build like, you know, these like terminals and stuff like that, but you actually like, you know, have to like position them on the map a lot more. So let's just say we're going to build this right around here. Yeah, if I'm able to right here, like my train's gonna like, go through. You have to be really careful positioning of the track in this one. So there we go. My first terminal's basically up. If I want to, I can build double track or single track. You'll have like wooden bridges and like stone bridges and eventually iron bridges. There's different ways of like laying track. You can like do it like a single piece at a time. You can like do a straight line method. Whatever you basically want to do. Alright, London here. Now, what I might do, by the way, I might try and crush this house right here. The reason for doing this is I can make it a little bit easier to basically build like a train out through here. That's something I may want to do. Basically, if I try like, build like this. Oh, okay, so there's something bad. Basically, the meat plant here is a little bit too close. So, that's bad. That happens, by the way. You'll basically screw it up and, like, whatever. Line's over there. We'll probably build, like, train to it at some point. Maybe we'll build down here the Portsmouth. I'm really just fooling around at this point, so we'll keep fooling around, I guess. Yeah, I'll build down here Portsmouth. Let's build a small little station over here, I think. Like right there. Oh, that's probably the reason why I'm having trouble like that. If I go like this, I can probably go like this a little bit easier. Nope, I still have a problem. Basically, cattle farms here in the way. And all like issues like that happen. You can try like pull down like this if you want to, but it'll probably cost you a lot more money like pulling down a house. Whatever. Basically, there's like trains and stuff you can basically play with. I note that these are not like the trains that you possibly probably play with like on like the England side of like things, because these are like Americans, like an American train, and the Iron Duke I think is like the English train as well as the Wheeler, but let's see here. So these are like all trains I can basically buy. The Iron Duke seems to be the best one. Both for like, the grade I'll be basically going on and the amount of cars you can basically pull. So let's just purchase an Iron Duke here. I'll note that I basically have like, this sort of like, routing system where like you send like, to one station to the other. Just basically like, you can sell the many cargoes and like, be like, basically like you get the many cargoes, sell all cargoes, sell only many cargoes, blah, blah. You know, like go when you're like full and all that other stuff. Lots of different things you basically do in this game. Alright, so basically we got Slough over here, we got Portsmouth. Portsmouth can basically supply passengers, mail, and food. And Slough can basically supply passengers, mail, and grain. Grain's going to be useful to make food, so that's good. At some point I'll basically fix that train, but basically I want to start, possibly get like a train going here to London, so we'll try and do that, I guess. Let's see here. What I really should have done, by the way, is probably like, build this terminal like somewhere else. Like, right here would probably be a bit better, I think. That's going to waste my money a little bit, but whatever. It's going to try and correct this right away. Get rid of that. I'm actually not connected here, which is kind of annoying, but whatever. So go like this. But as you can see, basically I can build like, the train tracks out of here now. Accidentally pressed there, but whatever. Basically now I've cut track going all the way over there. Got a little bit of wasted track here, but whatever. We can just, start just removing it a little bit. Whatever. That's probably not the most best, draw you can probably do for this game, but whatever. There's like, some track being laid and all that. I'm probably gonna make all my money back at some point, so it's fine. There we go, London Terminal. London's got access to a bunch of things on it. Basically, I can also like make food if I bring like, the cow here. There's other stuff I can basically do. We got ourselves in our Iron Duke. Oh, we don't have money for it, so we have to, basically go with what we got. You're in Portsmouth, that's fine, I guess, so... Let's see here. Basically, I think we'll make this guy a passenger train to start off with, so... He'll basically get that stuff. We'll go to Slough here. We'll go to London. I'll go back to Slough Junction there. It's not the most, like, promising train probably, but whatever. He'll do what it needs to do. Basically in London we want to, like, get full passengers and all that. But alright, now, basically we're good to go. Actually, we'll get, like, a dining car in here. There's, like, lots of interesting things you can do. Like, you have a dining car which basically increases, like, your revenue for passengers by, like, a little bit when you basically sell them off. Don't know why mail so high in Slough Junction, but whatever. Alright, well, we'll have to increase the speed a little bit, so we'll do that. So there's my train. Basically, something nice about this game is that it's got like little miles for like everything, so you have like actual trains going across the countryside, selling off the goods and stuff. There's that kind of forecast growing, so we have like, the same like, for those who basically saw like my Railroad Tycoon series, basically got like, panic, recession, normal, prosperity, and boom times. That stuff happens like in this game too. Now notice right down here you can actually see like your trains, like how fast they're going, what the speed's like and all that. I should probably go in here and buy some stuff. We'll have to eventually buy like a roundhouse and like, sand tower, water tower. All the good stuff for running a railroad, Gotta have it at some point. There's also expenses to pay too. Now, note by the way, if I want to, I could post like, Myas and Plus basically to do this if I want to as well. Never really been a fan of playing keyboard for a lot of these games, but whatever. So there's like the soft bullets, so like, speed records happen and all that. Now that that's basically been done, we'll build like another train. Come on, mouse, work with me. We're gonna have this train. Let's see here, he'll go from here to here. He's going to basically take cattle for us. I'll take 3 of them, and then he can take food back to Slough for us. Now I have to be like careful with demands and stuff. Basically, like more like expert games, you'll have like demands and stuff. And I'm not in this game. If you want to, you can play with like reduced difficulties, where you can have like basic economies, where like you can take like a good from one place to the other. But if you want to play with like the more complex systems, where like one place demands goods, one place like provides them, you have to like pay attention to like the supply and demand and stuff in this game. That's generally how you probably want to play eventually in the long run. So things to do. All right, let's see here. That'll be this guy's job. He's just going to go back and forth between those places. And I also want to have like a place to go over here as well. We're going to basically have you be a grain train. And you can have... Oh, you can have a caboose body down here, which reduces like, breakdowns and train robberies and stuff like that. Good old cabooses. They have like, they make like, they have like these games like, like everything have a relevant point to it. Like if you've got the dining cars, like basically like, they had dining cars back in the old days, and they have cabooses and stuff. They actually serve a purpose in this game. Alright, let's do that. Now, note by the way, all these trains they can't like move like with each other sometimes, so they're just going to slowly go this way and that way. There goes the passenger train. There goes the grain train. This will eventually be the cattle train. I'll note by if you run out of like money, your directors won't be too happy about it, and they'll start reducing like dividends and stuff like that. Which sucks if like you're going for like personal net worth like I am right now, but whatever. We're just basically trying to show off what the game elements are all about, so we'll do that. So there's like my train's going all over the place. They're going there. There's some money. Okay, we're gonna have this guy start bringing the wool, because I've got wool here as well. And I'm not sure what wool basically is used to get, so boom times ahead. Awesome. Renew fighting in the Middle East. Alright, we get goods basically from that, so we'll just have to go in here. We'll make a couple good cars for you. There we go. So basically right now I've got like, all my stuff basically being delivered like wherever I need to and all that. Grain's basically going down here to return to food at the bakery. Cows being moved over here to return to like, food as well. Wool becomes textiles. Hey, we're making money finally. Alright, we're going to start buying some stuff in here. We'll buy like the roundhouse, a sand tower, you could probably get telegraph poles, which is probably important to do for a turnaround in a station like this, so we might get that. That wouldn't be too bad to get at some point, but we're going to hold off on getting like these type of things for reasons I'll basically show later. We'll get the water tower for now. We're just going to get the necessities in here, so my trains can keep going. Much like, the original Sim Mario, you can like build like, different improvements for like your terminals, maybe boost like their productivity and stuff like that. And it looks like my compare has built his railroad up here, so he's got 900 shell field. He actually appears like his train's on the map like this time in this game as opposed to the other one. And you can actually see like what he's got there too. So like he's got like trains on the thing here. Whatever. Basically, we can see like the foreign trains here. So there's like an American by the looks of it. He's got an Iron Duke there. He's got an Iron Duke right here. Now, note by the way that this guy's mixing like passengers with like freight and stuff like that. It's not recommended you do that type of thing because basically in this game, I'll note that like if you like send like your passengers quickly to a station from the station, you'll get more money for it. Because like passengers want to get to where they're going. Same with mail, but like bulk cargoes like milk and like goods and stuff like that, they can only go in slower like bulk trains, like and all that. So that's something you can do. Now, because this guy's like selling milk and stuff like that, what I may want to do with this guy is I may want to watch like this dairy farm here. Basically, you can buy like industries in this game, like as opposed to like Sim Mario's where like you help like build industries and stuff like that. And this one actually like buy out like industries. So in this case, we could like buy out this dairy farm. Basically, that means I now own this dairy farm and I'm actually using it for my own purposes. And I'll actually like get money for it. I want to do this eventually as well with like the bakery down here, and I want to do with like this and this and this and this. That's basically what we'll be doing right now for a little bit. So let's increase the game speed a little bit. We can buy that. We'll buy that. Basically, as you go along, you'll like have stock splits and stuff happen. So TSX stock is split for 2 for 1. Basically, now it's like double the amount of stock. Here's our annual report. So basically, you can see what the board thinks of you. So they're basically pleased with my performance. They basically increased my salary. So well, one way to get my million revenues and all that. You get like all this other stuff up here. Economic status. There's the status of that. There's the companies that are basically going. There's like revenues between us. How are we doing, player-wise? There's the goods from like this thing right here. So You also saw him, by the way, buy some stock, because he'll do that sometimes. Basically, he'll basically start buying stock. So he probably bought me on margin because we're doing so well. Basically, if you don't have money, you can buy on margin, which basically lets you, like, improve, like, your shares and stuff. And if, like, you do really well, you'll basically get lots more money as a result from, basically doing that. Let's get the meat packing processing plant over here. I'm basically buying all this stuff because I'll basically make money from all this stuff in the long run. You'll get a small little amount of money basically from, owning industries that basically, give you some money back. And I've actually got a lot of passengers building up over here, so I'm actually tempted to have you go like nuts. You probably shouldn't build, like, a whole lot of cars into some of these, like, places, but whatever. We need a little bit more money for that. Once this guy gets all his passengers, we'll get lots of money when he basically goes on to sloth. By the way, if these guys, like, get stuck, they'll basically slow down, which is bad, but it happens. Nope, that's one bad thing. If I basically have all these cars here, I got a mail car, it's gonna, be an issue, so we'll have this guys go as is, because he doesn't really need to wait for the mail, I don't think. Buy that before it gets, like, no, not buy, you have to be very careful with, like, what these things basically say, because if it says something like lucrative, it usually means that, like, the competition is going to buy it because they realize that you're making lots of money with it. They're in our killing spree in the capital. Alright, so there's, like, some information about the stock splitting. We're basically going to get a lot of, like, stock power here, which is nice. They're excited basically about my performance. I'll note by that there's something down here about, like, these guys applying for business and managing my company. I'll show off a little bit about what that's all about in a little bit, so pay attention to these names, Theodore De Judah and Dr. Wilhelm Smith. And while we're at it, let's just drop down to game speed. There's our stuff. Basically, there's my revenues. There's the players. We're doing quite well. If we go to the stock market, you'll notice that, like, I was able, like, make a lot of money from this because these, like, they split. So I actually made some money doing that. This guy made some money too, and that's something you have to be very careful with these guys, like, because they can, like, own your shares and all that, but you also want to, like, watch out for how well your competition is doing, because if you're doing really well with their stations and stuff, you make a lot of money as a result. So let's buy a little bit more on margin, I guess. Alright, so we had something happen here. I'll note there's, like, a company thing that you can do with, like, buying and selling people and that. There's all these things you can basically do. So for those who remember, like, the original Sid Meier's, you have, like, the ability to, like, issue bonds and stock and stuff like that if you want to, and this can let you basically, like, boost up, like, your ability to, like, get money if you need to for, like, stuff. You can attempt mergers, you can change the dividend, all this other stuff you're basically doing here. You also declare bankruptcy if you want to as well, which is not really advised, but you can do if you want to. There's my balance sheets and all this other stuff. Now, these guys down here, basically got this manager down here. It's basically, like, he just gets, like, my little underling and basically helps me, like, manage, like, my railway and all that. This basically guy offers me, like, faster train speed, higher engine maintenance, and, like, cheaper engine purchase if I want to. But if I want to, I could probably get, like, other, like, better managers to help me out in the long run. So we got down this guy here, Theodore De Judah, salary of $29,000 per year. He's got a signing bonus of $14,000. If I have this guy, he makes it cheaper to build track, and he's got cheaper company overhead. So, Crazy Ted Judah was the railroad visionary. Judah, who championed the transcontinental railroad cause, had an agreement to buy out the Central Pacific Railway. However, when en route from Nicaragua to New York, he closed the deal. Judah contracted yellow fever and died. So, bleh, poor time to die. And then down here we got this guy, Dr. William Smith. He's got a signed bonus of $11,000 and salary of much right there. While working for Prison State Railways, Dr. Smith introduced a superheater heater to the world's steam locomotives. This is a major overhaul improvement to steam power. So basically, he's got improvements on, like, steam and cheaper fuel costs. So a lot cheaper to basically make your trains go all over the place. I may want to get this guy, by the way, at some point to build track, but we'll see, I think, at this point. Actually, I might want to get him for like the company overhead, because that's always good to have, I think, for, you know, some of your things. So we might hire this guy. And there basically is right now, he's basically going to be like, you know, my little underling to help me out. Alright, let's keep this on. So yeah, I have to be very careful of, like, you know, anything that says lucrative like this, because I'm not the only one who can buy, like, these industries. He can also buy industries as well. And if I'm not careful, he will buy industries, so gotta be careful of it. You also know by this, he's expanded his railway over the place as well, so he'll do that too. Typically does this, by the way, he, like, you know, builds, like, you know, between, like, Nottingham and, like, Sheffield, and he'll go down to Oxford over there as well. But whatever. And here comes the slow but profitable passenger train I'll basically have in a moment. And boom, buy that. Now at some point I'll basically want to buy some more stuff over here probably. He's got, like, you know, both of these now if I want to, so this will go up in, like, you know, profitability at some point. And there's, like, you know, profitability right now, by the way. He's also got coal, but, you know, whatever, coal. Coal's coal. Alright, look at this. There we go, done. There's the Vulcan. Now, I should probably note something, by the way, as well. If you want to, you can actually build, like, trains up to, like, your opponent's track if you want to, and, like, you know, send, like, your trains down their track. I might do this in a bit. We'll see. We'll see. I don't know why they don't feel like they can support. I'm making lots of money right now, but whatever. You know, I feel like I should probably make this into, like, a terminal, because I could have, like, brought down the products for these guys, but whatever. Missed opportunities missed. Alright, let's make some money. There's my annual report. They're basically excited. We're probably still going to do quite well, so let's keep buying stock from ourselves, I guess. I can also buy this guy's stock if I want to as well, but generally it's not that great to use, like, you know, compares like railroads and stuff like that, so I don't really worry about as much. Alright. Oh, here's something to note. Sometimes you'll have, like, these little things pop up. So, Fort William has offered a bonus of $200,000 to the first road to connect to another city. Sometimes you'll have, like, these little, like, events happen where this guy's will be like, hey, join me to your railroad, or any railroad really, and it'll basically give you, like, you know, some money for it, which is nice. That's all the way up in Scotland though, not near us, but whatever. Alright, so something I have yet to do, but basically if you want to, you can actually, like, you know, look at, like, the world map to basically, like, see where stuff is. So in this case, we got, like, iron here, basically, like, you know, we're seeing where iron is. And I'm looking, like, at the iron because I'm probably gonna, like, you know, bring the iron down to a steel mill over here to make some steel. Something I might want to do. And let's see here. They, like, demand iron. And there's some iron. There's other places up here as well. By the way, some places like this, like, you know, this is a tool and die factory. Basically, like, you know, they'll take iron as a basic good to, like, make goods. Eventually, they'll turn it, like, into a place that only accepts, like, steel. But, you know, right now, basically, that's what they'll take. I'll note basically in this game, like, right now, like, there's basically something open to these, like, goods and stuff, and commodities and such. Basically, in, like, the 1870s, milk wasn't, like, processed or anything, so you basically would have, like, dairy farms to basically produce the milk, and they, like, send, like, raw to, like, the cities and stuff for, like, people to consume. After a while, though, what happened was they actually changed it so that milk wasn't actually, like, sent direct to the citizens, but actually essentially to processors. And like they would actually like process the milk, so like it could be like I guess made safer to drink or last longer and stuff like that. Whatever they do with milk today, basically, is what they did eventually in this game. And then they'll actually have this like you have to send it to like a certain like place before you can send it to like to people, and that's something to watch out for at some point. All right, let's see here. There's iron up here. And coal. Now, in some scenarios, they can actually let you, like, build track wherever you want to, and this one is actually one of them, I think. So, what I might want to do, because they're like, these things right here, that's like a really good spot to basically get some steel going to Birmingham and stuff. So, I'm thinking about doing that. By the way, this will change, like, the designs of these things. So. Right now we got like this. You can have like different designs, basically where like different places where you are. So like down here we got this like design. Over here we got that design. Down here we got this design. Basically like there's different designs for like stations if you want to. Hey, look at that! There's like the Chinese like Oriental type of design, because there was like railroads, as I said, for those. All right. Anyways, let's actually build like a steel, I guess, like railway over here, I guess. I might have to make it as a terminal to really get the most out of it, but whatever. But yeah, I think that's what we're going to do. We're going to build that right there. Buy all that stuff for it. And then we'll build a bit of track all the way up here. And there we go. Basically got a steel train basically in the making. Now, note by the way, there's no demand for like passengers or anything here because there's not enough passengers basically coming here. At some point, this place will grow a little bit, and then like that'll be a little bit better, but not immediately, basically. All right, let's build a train basically from. There's a Vulcan, by the way. We're gonna build the Iron Duke here. By the way, these things will go up in price every so often, so you have to watch out for that. They're basically being improvements to trains, by the way. They'll make them better over the long run, but whatever. We're going to have this guy go from here to here. He's going to basically ship us iron and coal. Actually, you know what? Just build the iron for now. That's all it's going to ship. And caboose. Good old Samara's, logic. Build a caboose into things. Alright, we'll build one for iron. So there's a couple of those. Now, something I might want to do. I might show off, like, like connecting to like another station. So basically, if I want to, I could connect my railroad to this guy's railroad over here. And there we go. Showing it off just a little bit right there. Don't have money for it, but basically, if you want to, I could build like track all the way over there if I want to. Something I could do. All right, let's show off bonds, I guess, just so you can see, like, we complete the track. We'll go in here. We'll go in finances. We'll issue a bond. Basically, I'll issue a bond. I'll get, like, some money for it. There's like interest rate and all this other stuff. But there we go, we got some money basically to do this now. It'll go all the way over here, this track. It's a little bit better maybe. Yeah, it's really hard to get like good grades here because like how to like, you know, hill setup, so. But there we go. There's like some track built, so I can build like, you know, a train to go all the way up over to their track. And you'll be a steel train that goes to Shelfie over here. So steel. You're gonna wait till you have free steel. They'll bring back goods. Because you used up goods, right? Yeah, I used up goods. And if I want to, I can build like, you know, a train to basically send like passengers all around if I need to, so we'll have a train go from Birmingham to Stoke-on-Trent. Yeah, I can send it there too if I want to, I guess. Why not? Get those. Whatever. There we go. Alright, let's get this underway. So now I basically connected their track to our track to their track. That's something you can basically do if you want to. You can basically, you know, like build like your to your competitors. There's no rate wars or anything like that. Basically, like, you have like these like, you know, joint efforts like, you know, type things every hour sometimes. So there's my passenger train how these places go between these places, dropping off stuff for us. So there's like the coal. No steel yet, but whatever, we'll get eventually. Now, note by that the steel mill basically costs a lot to purchase, but I'll make lots of money from it if, like, you know, bring like iron and steel to it like a lot. Here comes the iron ore. There's the steel train. Off it goes. May want to buy this at some point. Hey, there's grain silos. So yeah, there's basically like, you know, these little like, you know, additional buildings that pop up every so often. So these will basically reduce the penalty for delays and station pickup for grain, coffee, and sugar, which is nice. There's my air train, by the way. So you're gonna pop in here. There we go, we delivered some, you know, stuff over here. Notice how you got like, you know, notice that this train is delivered over here. Basically, you can see that because I had to go on foreign track into a foreign station, you actually have to get a deduction to it. So basically, it's not recommended that you go to like, you know, a foreign station like this because like you're having to basically pay like, you know, to use their track and stuff. But in this case, I'm gonna like, you know, make use of like, you know, just for demonstration purposes really. So that's why I'm doing it. Alright, let's buy this while I have the money for it. By the way, also, if you have trains in here, you'll get stuck. You have to wait for like the local trains to go first before your trains can go. That's the area you know about like this if you're like, you know, on like these other tracks. It's not the greatest sometimes. I'm gonna buy this right now. Oh, he connected to Lightcaster, so he built a station here apparently. In an odd place, but whatever, it's fine. He can build wherever he wants to. Alright, so there's like, you know, a new guy's coming on for me, got an increase in salary. Our networks are basically the same, but whatever. I have lots of like negative cash, but you know, whatever, we're doing quite well regardless. We'll increase that up to $60 per share. Now note that the AI kind of builds oddly in this game sometimes, but whatever. Buy those. There's my, you know, train over here of doing stuff. Throwing our car on then. You got a train wreck. Yeah, sometimes you'll have like this happen every so often. The train will get wrecked by stuff. So yes. So apparently my steel train here wrecked for some reason. Basically, you'll have like, you know, issues that sometimes happen. Like, you know, trains will, you know, if you're basically increasing the throttle or doing other stuff, they'll sometimes crash or break down and stuff like that. And in that case, like, that thing's lost to me, which sucks, but whatever. This shows that the credits are not lying. Sometimes your trains will crash into each other or stuff will happen. Unfortunately. Alright, let's get this stuff like going a little bit faster now. I'll note there's other stuff I can build here, like, you know, basically like the old game, you can have like, you know, telegraph poles and restaurants. I can build a saloon to basically boost up my my passenger rails a little bit more. Post office or mail. Custom house is good for custom delays, but that's not really needed here, so we don't worry about it. Small hotel. This refrigerator, that's only really good if I'm up over by like the milk guys. You know, it's not really my stuff. I don't have products for milk in my things yet. I do have grain though, so build that right here. And we also got like, you know, wool going on here as well, so we can do that. Don't actually have the money to buy all this stuff though, so we'll take off a small hotel, I guess. Bunch of stuff basically popping up in here, so we'll make some money basically from stuff. Small hotel. Now, note, but if you want to, you can try and upgrade these to be like, you know, large station and stuff. But it's only good if, like, you know, the rest of the place isn't, like, you know, blocked. So in order to, like, you know, actually, like, you know, build this into a bigger station, I would actually have to, like, turn on my bakery or this ring right here, basically, to, like, you know, place the station. So I'll have to build, like, over here to Brighton, like, to get this, like, you know, products if I want to, I guess. Which is fine. I was actually sort of, like, planning on building, like, steel down here for a cannery, so I can, like, get food from it, but whatever. Not gonna worry about it at this point. There's up the leads for that guy now, I guess. Now I know, by the way, if I wanted to, I could build like a train and ferry this coal from Nottingham all the way down to my steel plant. I could do that, but it feels kind of convoluted. I'm not really making a lot of money doing it, so I'm not going to worry about it as much. And you know what? I've actually showed off a lot about what this game's all about, so let's just sort of end it right here, I think. And before I go, I just want to show off one more thing just to sort of like throw it out there. This had like a lot of other ideas too that are worth knowing as well. So if I go to Scandinavia here, for example. Actually, no, let's not go Scandinavia. Let's go with something else. I'm sure we'll have it. The Mediterranean. Go with expert here for the hell of it. So there's like different like scenarios I can play, and this one's like one basically focusing on the Mediterranean. So you have like, you know, basically France and Spain, all these other places. Something else, but just like, you know, Pacific, like, you know, scenario. And this is something that's like a feature in some scenarios, by the way. You can actually have like, you know, territories that you have to deal with. So basically in this campaign scenario, you start with like, you know, the building rights to build in France, but you don't have any where else you can basically build track. So you can build in France, but unless you want to, like, you know, unless like you get the rights to build like the other places. So unless, for example, I go to like, you know, Italy here and be like, hey, can I build here and like pay like $1 million for it, or I go Switzerland, can I pay like this much for it? There's Germany, pay that much for it. Basically, unless I go to like one of them to like actually like, get like the money to like build railways into their places, I can't actually do it yet. So it's interesting. And like there's also things like goodwill as well. So if you have goodwill to like a place, so in this case, France has goodwill to like all these places down here. They're bad to Germany because, you know, whatever, but good against these other places, so a lot cheaper places I guess to like, you know, build over there in their places. I'll note as well that if I try like, you know, look at this a little bit, Turkey is all the way over here. It's in like pretty good relations and all that. Ottoman Empire, I guess is what they're called. If I try to actually get the rights for them though, you'll notice it's kind of expensive because even though that's like only like a small bit of their territory, the Ottoman Empire is like a big vast empire, so they like, you know, they require you to have a lot of like money to basically build stuff over there. Anyhow, that's basically like, you know, the game Railroad Tycoon 2. I played quite a bit of this game back in the day, and I did enjoy it quite a bit. If you haven't played it before, I actually recommend you looking into this one before like looking into its predecessor, because this actually plays a lot more into like the actual like scope of what Railroad Tycoons would actually probably deal with like how they basically work and all that. But that's basically it. I think that's it for this like let's play, and I'll jump into Railroad Tycoon 3 and basically show off what that's all about in some time. For now, take care.